Working in the clinic for more than 20 years, I've seen a wide array of walking patterns. I like to have some sort of a foundation in which to categorize the gait patterns. Otherwise, it can get a little bit confusing. If you think of your shoulders and your hips forming a rectangle, that's a good place to start when looking at someone's walking pattern or trying to analyze your own. And essentially what you see is either a person who is not effectively moving this rectangle, and they tend to kind of move perhaps in a way where they land on the leg and then they kind of collapse into it, and then they come onto this leg and they collapse into it. We would call that a homolateral gait pattern. Contrast that with a pattern in which the shoulders are moving opposite the hips, so you would be twisting a rectangle, right? So this would be called a contralateral pattern. And this would be the more efficient pattern for walking. If a person's injured, if they're fearful that they might fall, you'll oftentimes see that their base of support will start to shift a little bit wider. Right? So if you walk with a wider pattern, you will tend to get pushed into a homolateral pattern. Right? That's because your hips are here. Right? Your hips are not out here. Go outside or walk indoors and play with your walking pattern and see, how does it feel if you walk with your feet maybe fist width apart as you land, or about the width of your fist between your heels. Contrast that if you're walking with your feet 2 fists or even 3 fists apart, and you'll see why it doesn't make much sense to have such a wide base of support. So those are 2 simple things that you could check in with to see if you want to analyze your walking pattern and make it a little more efficient, right? The first being, are you walking homolateral versus contralateral? And the second being, observing your base of support. Are you too narrow or are you too wide?